Thank you. Please be seated. Get used to hearing that. Olympics start tomorrow. Honorable Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, Mrs. Jennifer Griffiths, PS, in the Ministry of Tourism, chairmen, chairwomen, and executive directors of agencies of the Ministry of Tourism, head of agencies, members of the Tourism Linkages Council, or Technical Working Group on Networks, big up to Carolyn McDonald-Riley especially, CEO, Mrs. Valerie Vera, Jamaica Business Development Corporation, President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourism Association, Clifton Reader, which will be represented by Chris Jarrett today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are physically here, or audience online, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 7th staging of the Christmas in July exhibition. 7 is the perfect number, according to many. And this year, I'm glad that you're here. Last year, so there's a rule that I'm going to use. We're not going to use the word that starts with C or the word that starts with P today. We're just going to call it that thing, all right? So last year, during the heights of that thing, you know, the Christmas in July had to be done at short notice. We had to reset and find a new way to do it. And the Christmas in July team made history by executing the first show in a virtual format for the very first time in our history, and one of the very first such event in Jamaica at the time. So I've learned from that experience. You know, they say that a setback is a setup for a comeback. Well, we have come back. We have come back stronger, we have found our footing, and we know we're going to be much better at executing this iconic event while dealing with the lingering effect of that thing. So, you know, so far we have new person in the audience. I know the ambassador from Nigeria just joined us. Welcome to Jamaica. She's going to bring Nollywood here. She's promised us that. So one thing people ask, what is this Christmas in July thing, right? So basically, what it is, it showcases the products to buyers and to buyers in corporate Jamaica, the hospitality sector, government, embassies, missions and international organizations from our creative industry, especially from the micro and small creative business entrepreneurs in our country. It's very important. So as Jamaica charts its way to a stronger, resilient, and more equitable recovery, events like Christmas in July are needed to continue to enhance the quality of opportunities afforded to our local manufacturers and service providers, especially within the SME sector, the real engine of growth for any economy. And you know, what this event has done in its virtual format is actually expand the audience, Minister. I mean, no, instead of just having the people physically here being able to see, there's no boundaries anymore. And people are watching in New York today, in the UK, all over the world, and looking at what has been exhibited. An amazing opportunity to build brands and to create new opportunities for sale. I'm delighted to know that this year's staging, we're going to have the largest number of participants ever. In the middle of that thing, instead of people buckling and cowering and waiting for it to stop, we have come out stronger than ever, and our largest number of participants ever is this year. That's amazing. A round of applause to the team for that. So my job is to get you through quickly today and to make sure we get to the main event. So we're going to start the program by inviting our PS, Mrs. Jennifer Griffiths, to bring prayer, and she'll follow immediately by Chris Jarrett, a VP for the Jamaica Hotel and Tourism Association, who will bring remarks on behalf of that entity. So Jen, followed by Chris.
Good morning, everyone. I heard Mr. Pandoe just say that we will not mention the C word nor the P word. So I think it's apt time. Just bring the reassurance to us. And so I'm going to read Isaiah 41, verse 10. It reads, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." So this morning, let us take the assurance that God's right hand will uphold us all. Let us pray. Holy Father, mighty God, we thank you for this morning. We thank you for your blessings that are anew each morning. We thank you for the manifestation of your glory that is all around us. Holy Father, as we come together this morning to celebrate the 7th staging of this event, we thank you for our minister. We thank you for all of the persons involved in the Tourism Linkages Network. We thank you for all of the suppliers today. We thank you for everyone who offers some kind of support to this venture. Holy Father, we thank you for the creativity of our people. We thank you for their strength. We thank you for their resilience. And we thank you that despite the challenges, we're able this morning to stage this event. We thank you for everything and everyone. And may you continue to bless us and keep us. Father God, at this time we put before your minister, we ask that you continue to guide him as he leads the tourism team. We thank you for the energies that is behind everything that we do, the commitment and the hard work. Holy Father, mighty God, great is this moment, great is their name, and we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Morning, everyone. All protocols observed. Salutations. I bring greetings from the council and members of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association. We commend the Ministry of Tourism, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, and the Tourism Linkages Network for again pulling together the various agencies, including the GHTA, for another Christmas in July. It has been a challenging year for everyone, but the pandemic has emphasized just how connected we all are. And so this event, which demonstrates the natural linkages and collaborations between our organizations while offering local producers a platform for showcasing their products to the industry and the general public, is most appreciated. GHTA members have continually shown their commitment to buying Jamaican, whether it be beds, furniture, agricultural products, gifts, and decorative items, thus ensuring that the benefits of tourism extend far beyond the hotel sector to allied industries and strengthening the linkages with those who provide these products and services. Today, I want to focus on 3 specific areas which hold tremendous potential for expanded linkages. The first is the agricultural sector, which has traditionally been a strong partner with tourism. In fact, our hotels continuously purchase as much as our farms can supply and would buy more if possible. Regrettably, last year, at the height of that thing, when most hotels and restaurants were closed, many farmers were faced with a glut of produce and with no markets to sell to. I want to recommend that our farmers explore the production of secondary products in addition to their primary crops. Jams and jellies, for example, are used widely in our sector and are mostly imported. Our farming community would do well to develop greater linkages with manufacturing, even cottage industries, to develop these value-added products. The other area I would strongly recommend we look at is the production of table liners, tablecloths, napkins, terry robes, etc. There was a time when a thriving garments complex provided supplies of all these items. Now they're mainly imported. We should look at retooling idle plants and providing incentives to small manufacturers to import the raw materials and produce finished products for sale to the tourism sector. The third and final area is our craft offerings. Our artisans, as you will see when you later peruse the displays, are producing some very attractive pieces that are proving popular among our visitors, particularly with Jamaican roots. Smaller pieces have traditionally been popular due to luggage restrictions. But we now have a golden opportunity through our online shopping apps like Amazon to deliver even larger paintings and bulkier items directly to our guests at their homes overseas. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, the opportunities are endless for the increased development and sale of products across the sectors. The world is attuned to the fantastic Made in Jamaica brand, and there is no better time to be Jamaica by Jamaican. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Chris. The two key things coming out of that, linkages and value-added processing. We need to start celebrating not just primary production, but doing major value-added as we go forward. So the next young lady coming up is actually, when she came this morning, I flippantly introduced her to the media as my side chick. And she said, "Oh no, darling, I'm always the main event." So without further ado, my friend, my main event, Val Rivera, CEO.
Morning, everybody. He got it right. Who wants to be the sidekick? I'm the main event. All right, good morning, and all protocols have been observed. And I want to say, first of all, that I want to congratulate the Linkages Council, because it would have been so simple to use the excuse that that C thing is around and that we have to put off, cancel this event. And I particularly want to big up, as we say in Jamaica, Carolyn Riley McDonald and her team for leading the process. At the same time, I am expressing my gratitude, but most of all, how proud I am that my own Jamaica business development family, as always, makes me proud of the excellent contribution that they make every year to support this event and to make sure that our participants are prepared, ready to go, and in helping in preparing the presentation. We at JBDC believe in join-up government. It's one Jamaica. And so it's one big team, and we commit to continue supporting this critical event. Now, since the C thing, at JBDC, we have adopted some words, mantra, and one is to move from panic to passion. And we've seen it demonstrated here. When we started last year in March, everybody was nervous. Everybody was going to die, and the hospital going to overflow, et cetera, et cetera. We decided we needed to change the narrative and talk about falling in love with our country, falling in love with our families, and falling in love with our businesses. And to see in this situation that was very challenging what those opportunities were and how we can rebuild and move forward. And we see it here today. Our minister here speaks of the resilient corridor. And we have adopted that. And we talk about resilience, recovery, and growth. And again, this is what we're seeing here this morning, because as we walk through the tropical wonderland, we're going to see the most innovative, beautifully packaged products. And I want to share that we do have a lot of excellent jams and jellies. We just want to ensure that we increase the output so that the hotels will use that instead of, importing all that. We are the exotic component of the industry. So I'm going to invite you to visit with us at JBDC as well to see the kind of work that is happening even outside of what is presented here today. And I think that, as my main event here said, it speaks volume that we have increased the applicants that wanted to be part of this process. Last year we had 250. No, this year we have 250. Last year we had 184. So in all of the situation, we had an increased number of applicants. 60% of the persons, the producers on show. And really, it's more than an exhibition, it's really a presentation of products. 60% are repeats. That means continuity. What is exciting for us at JBDC is that 40% of the participants are new. Again, it means that there's new entrants to the process. It means growth. And it also means innovation, because many of them are young, just rearing to move things forward. And like any process, any school, you celebrate the graduates, which are those who have now moved to a higher level, maybe, a bigger market space. They are comfortable in the market, so they're not here. But we celebrate always the fresh and new blood that comes in. So we're very excited that we have 40% of the presentation being from new entrants. In all of this, I know that there is a word that people, a C word, e-commerce, that people, it's the moment, it's in the moment, and everybody's excited about going e-commerce. We at JBDC are working, I see my deputy here, because he's leading that charge. We're working to ensure that people recognize that e-commerce is serious business. You are exposing yourself, your business, your products to the world. To the world. And therefore, there are many steps for you to accomplish before you present yourself to the world. First of all, we need to understand that to the world. It means that you should look after protecting your intellectual property before going to the world. There are many people anxious to be on e-commerce, but we need to ensure that we protect ourselves so that we can stay in the world with our own brands and our design. So we need to protect all that can be protected. It means also that your back office needs to be intact. You can put 12 soap and you sell them off, and when the order comes for the 13th and the 14th, you go looking for raw material and you have to import, et cetera, et cetera. It means that your business model has to be solid and ready to the world. You need to have your business in order so you are not a one-shot. You know, like how I have my main relationship with my main event. We're going on a long time. And we're going to go on long more time, right? Yes. So it means that we're doing something right. You have to have that business in a position where when you go to the world, you can deliver to the world continuously, on time, consistent quality, et cetera, et cetera. And this is what we're working on at JBDC to make sure that the logistics and the back office situation of our clients are in order to go to the world. Very important. We also want businesses to move to formalizing. Don't be a one-off deal. You need to formalize because there's a package of benefits that you miss out on when you are not formalized on a registered business. These are realities that must be addressed if we're going to really successfully move forward. And we are prepared to provide that support. We have been doing that, not only to the participants here today, but for those others that didn't make it this year for whatever reason. We would have screened and understood what some of those issues might be that needs to be addressed. We are here to help you that next year you could possibly be here, but also for you to go to the world. So JBDC is confirming our commitment to this process, commitment to our entrepreneurs to ensure that the MSMEs, which is our main event, the MSMEs are a critical component of our economic development. We just have to make sure that we create the ecosystem, the support system that makes it possible for them to take their place rightfully at the table for decision making, take their place rightfully in the marketplace, and take their fair share of policy being developed to provide that kind of support. So I want to congratulate all the contributors to this fabulous present. I think it's so elegantly wonderful. And I really look forward to seeing the smiling faces of our entrepreneurs when they collect and deliver the orders, and that nice thing that comes afterwards, the money, comes for their bank accounts. So we're looking forward to that, and I really congratulate them on their efforts this morning, and I'm very proud that we have people in Jamaica supporting Brand Jamaica with products, collections of products that we will see here just top of the line, just like Jamaica. Jamaica, you know, we have a line of products. When we say Jamaica, we mean God made here. And we really celebrate that every time, all the time. So thank you so much for the support from our minister and the Linkage Council for the kind of sterling work they're doing to ensure that our MSMEs are a part of the process of development in this wonderful island of ours. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Trisha Williamson, and I'm the Managing Director and founder of Bambusa. Bambusa is a sustainable gifting company based here in Jamaica, and we specialize in creating gifts from natural materials, such as wood, wicker, that can really be used in everyday life. So we have been a part of the Christmas in July trade show for the past 3 years. So we're excited to be doing it this year again. And why we enjoy being a part of this trade show is just because of the exposure that we really get. We get exposure through being at the event and also in the catalog that they produce. So this allows us as a small business to be featured right throughout the year, and our corporate clients can really access this catalog 24/7 and really connect with us on what they need for their needs. So just to give you an example, you can have, as a corporate client, your logo can be branded on our products, and you can have corporate messaging as well. So this is just some of our products that we have available. And again, you can go to our website at www.bambusajamaica.com. We have a dedicated page for corporate clients that allow you to send us your requests for whichever catalogs you're interested in, and we're happy to create that for you.
Hi, my name is David Silvera. I'm with Mustard Seed Communities. Mustard Seed is a charity that cares for the disabled, both physically and mentally, also children living with HIV/AIDS. And we've been involved with Christmas in July for 4 years now. It's an excellent showcase for our products, our ceramics products, which is part of our social enterprise. That's what we put into the Christmas in July show. And we sell the products so that the profits from that help us run our 13 homes for the disabled in Jamaica. Christmas in July is an excellent opportunity for us. We meet potential clients. We've gotten some great leads over the years. We've even gotten contracts with some of the hotels on the North Coast. So I would recommend anyone to check out Christmas in July, as it is a wonderful experience both for the buyers and the sellers.
Greetings, my name is Randamak, co-founder, CEO of Brescia Limited. We started Brescia on our veranda, myself and my brother, in 2015 with one machine and big dreams. Today we distribute, we design and manufacture a range of quality, handmade, personalized and bespoke product experiences right here in the One Love Island of Jamaica. Now, we've been a part of the Christmas in July program for some 3 years, and it's always been a rewarding experience. We do get a good bulk of our orders from corporate Jamaica, And we know that it's on the back of the results and the awareness driven by our exposure, having participated in Christmas in July. So we are very, very grateful. It's important as we form these linkages, at an event like Christmas in July, it ensures that more people, instead of going overseas, they're actually using local companies like ours to satisfy their corporate gifting needs. And we love it and we appreciate it. And you should definitely keep on supporting not just Brescia, but all the other wonderful brands, right here in Jamaica. Again, Tef, we thank you. And we thank Christmas in July for the continued support. Keep on pushing Brand Jamaica. Keep on empowering us so that we can keep on empowering our staff and our families and our communities.
My name is Wouter Tjeertes. I am the co-owner of Pure Chocolate Limited right here in Trelawney. So I have been doing Christmas in July for 3 years. This is my 3rd year and it has been fantastic so far. So Christmas in July really has impacted our company in a positive way. By partnering with Christmas in July, we have gotten a lot of traction within the tourism sector, a lot of interest. The magazines really help us get our product out there and get our name out there. And it really helps to build Jamaican artisans as a whole. Christmas in July really helps us with the corporate sector. Corporate gifting is a big thing on the island. And with the platform that is Christmas in July, we really get the opportunity to showcase our products and get it into the hands of people that we normally wouldn't get to partner with. So it really helps us.
Hello there, I am Kenny Gordon, the owner and founder of Cheviel Naturals. Cheviel is an organic-based hair and skincare brand that seeks to holistically improve the health of our customers' hair and skin by providing natural, handmade hair and skincare products, as well as natural remedies and also dietary suggestions. So I must say I am really excited about Christmas in July this year. I am definitely looking forward to having greater exposure to the tourism sector as well as corporate Jamaica. So Cheviel is a dream of mine, and by supporting me, you're also supporting a dream and you're also contributing towards Jamaica's future economic growth and development.
Wow, that was awesome. I mean, a couple of things jump out here from that. You saw diversity, not just in the participants, but in the range of products they offered. You heard about linkage and talk about supporting dreams. And when you overlay that with what Valerie was saying, having a dream is one thing, but what TEF does, what the Linkages Council has done, what Christmas in July has done is creating an environment where you're training these persons, all these people with their dreams, their big dreams. They're trained in business process, how to look after intellectual property, how to create quality product all the time. And by the way, this is absolutely done at no cost to the participants. I mean, so this is an amazing venture and supporting dreams and supporting Jamaica growing. Now, this last couple of weeks, it's been a big, lots of events happening in the world. Rockets have been launched, left, right, and center. And, we have our own little rocket here. We call him Ed. Not quite shaped like Bezos rocket, but our Minister of Tourism has become much more than just a Minister of Tourism for Jamaica. He has become a voice of tourism globally, and something that we're quite proud of. He's been out there from the get-go speaking about the recovery, linkages, about making it a part of what we do as we recover. Many times, we argue and lots of discussion about which sector needs to get more attention. But in an economy like ours, we need multiple pillars to grow and to grow sustainably. So without further ado, I want to welcome our rocket, Minister Ed Bartlett.
So, gone here like a rocket. Careful though. It just might just get me going. Thank you so much, Richard, for that very special introduction. In fact, that's the kind of introduction that works. Short, whether you want to be metaphoric or not, but short. these long introductions that they're doing these days doesn't all go well for even the length of the speech that you end up having to give. So the shorter the speech, I hope. So I want to say I endorse all that has been said a while ago. That video, before I even get into salutations, I think is worthy of being replicated all over and should be part of the content that we have to the wider public to appreciate the supply side of tourism. And we're going to talk a minute about it during this very brief statement of mine. And particularly the testimonial, how they rang genuinely, because they impacted people specifically. And so when the comment is made about not just what my cultural output is and the value of that creative, demonstration, but how it has enabled me to contribute to the growth and development of Jamaica. I think that was the critical comment from all of what was said there by all the wonderful young entrepreneurs who have emerged out of this enormously powerful process that the TEF and Carolyn Riley and the rest of the group have been able to forge over the last 7 years. So my permanent secretary, Jennifer Griffiths, is here, and she's a leading figure in that process. And I want to, in my salutations, acknowledge her, and to acknowledge Ms. Vieira, who has been a partner throughout. Her role in small business development in Jamaica is now becoming legendary. And yes, the craft sector, and indeed to provide resources and funding, which is so important to enable the production of these goods and services too, that the small enterprises provide in our country. I know that Mr. Reader would have loved to be here. I understand the extent of his vision for all of this as the president of the JHTA, but I think he's very well represented here. Mr. Jarrett, who spoke so eloquently a while ago, and of course we have Ms. Camille and Ms. Madden Craig, who I am not going to say anything more about until another couple of days, I'm sure. Congratulations would be in order, and so on and so forth. Distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, and it is such a joy to see you coming out and sharing this particular activity with us, in particular to show the kind of commitment that we know is going to be necessary to help us to develop new markets, to look at new processes, and even to provide funding support to enhance the capacity of our small enterprises to produce more and to reach, very importantly, new markets. So I thank you for coming. And all the other partners who are here, I see the Linkages Network is well represented, and I see Wayne, who is the new chair of a particularly important element of the network, because I've charged him with the responsibility to do now the study and research on the supplies and capacity building element. Because while we talk about the need for more local supplies for the industry, we have to talk about capacity to supply. And we have to build that capacity. And it looks at questions such as training and development, the whole human capacity building. It deals with the issue of providing resources by way of materials to assist, and it deals importantly with financing and credit for it, and finally to deal with marketing. So these are very important elements that have to come together to enable the supply side to work. And I've spent a lot of time in the last 10, 12 years now talking about the supply side of tourism because we have been strong on the demand side. Very strong. When you look at the growth, we have grown 6 times the rate of the GDP of Jamaica, tourism, in the last 30 years. Our growth has tripled that of the economy itself. And the tourism had become the fastest growing enterprise, entity, industry, call it whatever you will, in the economy, not just Jamaica, but in the Caribbean. And if you look further afield in the world. In the last 50 years, tourism has grown exponentially, notwithstanding shocks. And we have had 4 mega shocks. We had SARS that upended tourism. We had 9/11 that stopped travel from all over the world. We had the economic disruptions of 2007, 8, 9, 10, which was regarded as the worst recession the world had seen in 80 years. And now we have a pandemic, the likeness of which Anthropocene Earth has not experienced. And in all of this, tourism has shown a capacity for resilience. And it has bounced back and in every instance grown faster than everywhere else. In addition, it is the preferred industry for immediate recovery because of its instant convertibility of cash. As the plane flies, the cash comes. As the cruise ship enters the port, the cash comes and it goes directly into the pockets of the ordinary individual. It generates jobs exponentially. And so this recovery that we're speaking about has that immediate potential. Indeed, it is reflecting that already because our industry is the fastest in the recovery process in the economy as we speak. We have brought back more than 50,000 workers in the last 6 months. And no other industry has brought back 50,000 workers or more within that period of recovery. And we are just beginning. We are just beginning because in 7 months, and the 7th month is not quite yet finished, we have brought in nearly 700,000 visitors to the country. I'm talking about tourists now, not general passengers who come through the airport, because we've gone over 800,000 of that. But we are in the line for 700,000. And by the end of August, we are projecting to reach 1 million visitors and passengers coming into Jamaica, which will bring somewhere in the region of $1.5 billion into the economy. No other industry could do that in 7 months. The tourism industry has. But while we're doing that against the awesome challenge of managing a pandemic, the likeness of which I said Anthropocene Earth has not seen. We're managing a pandemic characterized by uncertainty, both in terms of the science of it, as well as the data collection, management, analytics of it. And what it requires of us is a nimbleness, is an ability to pivot, to respond, adapt, and change, and to be accurate, even in the face of uncertainty. And that's a big call. That's a great call. It's a great call that it makes on a government, and it's a great call that it makes on the individuals, as well as the institutions that operate within the wider community. And the tourism sector, as a mega institution, has to respond and has been. And I'm proud to say that this tourism industry in Jamaica has been the most responsible partner in the management of COVID-19 pandemic in Jamaica. And I say it without equivocation or without any suspicion of contradiction from any quarter. We understood the pandemic with all its uncertainties because we understand disruptions, because we understand the vulnerabilities that are inherent in tourism. So we, at a very early stage, from January of this year, we established a risk management committee for what we expected to have been an epidemic, not quite a pandemic. So in January, we established that. The tourism sector in Jamaica established our risk management committee. And by March, when the pandemic was declared, we were in a recovery discussion mode, because then we established the recovery task force. And then we set to develop the protocols in relation to it. We brought in consultants from Pricewaterhouse and worked with the TPDCO and the JHTA in developing the most comprehensive set of protocols anywhere at the time. And I'm not talking about just Jamaica now, worldwide. 388-page document which covered all the touch points in relation to COVID management as we understood it. So much so that the World Travel and Tourism Council gave Jamaica, as the third country in the world, the safe travel certification, having gone through our protocols. And then we developed a whole program of training of our workers, online training. We trained 20,000 workers within 3 months. We spent millions through the TEF and the Exim Bank arrangements to provide the protocols, management tools that are required. What were they? The PPEs, the personal protective equipment, the mask. Thousands of masks we bought and distributed. We bought sanitary facilities, touchless sanitary facilities too. We distributed them. I went around the island and I gave them to fisher folks operating in the different parts of Jamaica, to craft vendors, and to ordinary producers and providers of services and goods across Jamaica. We brought care packages, millions of dollars of care packages which we gave through the Chamber of Commerce and the JHTA to tourism providers and workers across Jamaica. But more importantly, we established an accreditation program where we sought to certify COVID-compliant entities within the industry. And we established the rules in relation to that in collaboration, of course, with the Ministry of Health. And we ensured that every single entity that was licensed and registered by the JHTA through the Tourist Board and the TPDCO were fully COVID compliant by way of ensuring that they had marked out the social distance positions so everybody knows with decals what distance they must stay, the requirement that everybody should wear a mask, the whole sanitization mechanisms that were required, what we're calling the biosanitary tools that are required. And we ensured that the investments were done by the large hotels in particular, and we assisted the small and the medium-sized ones in acquiring some of those equipment. Then we did the coup de grace. We defined a geographical area from Negril to Port Antonio. Unfortunately for us, a highway enabled that position to be had because we were able to, through the north, the east-west or the north? The northeast, northwest, let's call it that, highway system from Negril to Port Antonio, to define all the areas on the windward side of the highway. We are fortunate for us, about 80% of the touristic values of the industry were located. And we call that a term that is now borrowed by almost everybody in the world, the resilient corridor. And that became for us a bubble. It became for us, if you want to say quarantine, yes. That became for us the place where our visitors could go and to be assured not just of maintaining the highest traditions of COVID management, but would have been separated, if you will, and I hate to use the word separated, but in effect it was, from the wider population, so as to reduce the possibility of infection and the spreading of the virus. Both ways. The result of all of that is after 67,000 visitors came through the corridor, and we did the exit interviews and polls, and we did the research in relation to it, we came up with a 0.6% of positivity rate in the resilient corridor. And we continue to manage that. And that 0.6 was several 100% better than the national positivity rate. I want to make the point because the fact that the industry has come back in the limited way that it has and has created the job opportunities in the limited way that it has, and as has given hope in the limited way that it has, but has managed the process in the effective way it has, means that other sectors have that capacity too, and that we all can do better as a country in managing this COVID pandemic that we have. Yes, you say the big elephant in the room is vaccine, and we agree. We all have been out there. And I've just finished a mega discussion and collaborative effort in Africa with regards to us in the Caribbean and our friends from Saudi Arabia. And an announcement is imminent to enable over 25 million doses of vaccine to be provided for developing countries that are highly tourism dependent for the workers of the tourism industry. And I sought to get permission to say to that level this morning when I got a note from my colleague minister that the work is fully on to finalize that arrangement, but that announcement in full will be made in short order. This is important because it is a statement of tourism's responsibility and its response. And I've been making the point, if you have been following, that we have a voice, that tourism has a voice, and that voice must be heard in the management of this COVID process. Because as an industry globally, none has been affected as devastatingly as tourism. While at the same time, none has responded faster in recovery than tourism. So I wanted to make those points to you before we just talk for half a second on the issue of building this capacity locally now for supplies. Because as we recover, we need to recover together and to recover stronger. And we need to recover recouping much of the losses that we had before the pandemic. Because before the pandemic, we had a leakage situation of US dollars from the industry of some 60 cents. We had reached the level of 40 cents retention. And so recovering now, we must move beyond that 40 cents recovery to the 50 cents that we must have. And the good news, if there's one, is that the pandemic, in a funny way, has given us that opportunity because we're starting from ground zero. So we can recover together. So the suppliers now, Wayne, the team you are in charge of, the manufacturers, Richard, the farmers that have been talking with Minister Green about, the cultural products that we've been talking with Minister Grange about. All of these now have a chance to develop together as the industry returns. So the demand would be a fraction of what it was in 2019, when we had 4.3 million visitors. And when that demand required a level of production that the country couldn't afford to have. You didn't have the capacity. You will not have the capacity when we get back to the 4 million. But the good news is that we can grow capacity with this present level of recovery so that more of the goods that the industry needs can be sourced locally from our manufacturers and our farmers and our suppliers. And Christmas in July is part of that response. So we could see more of our local producers showcasing their output. We could see those who are in textile indicating to hotels that we can supply you now with sheets and pillowcases and blankets and towels. And we could see the small farmers saying yes, and the larger farmers saying yes, we can supply you now with more tomatoes and lettuce and cabbage and turnip and Irish potato. And we could see our agro-processors saying, yes, we could give you more tomato paste, we can give you more of the chutneys and the jams and the jellies and the nectars. And we could see more of our local transportation sector saying, yes, our vehicles are now in order. We can give you the level of support and supplies that is required in all those areas. And we could go on and on and on and speak to the 75 elements that all come together as moving parts to make the touristic experience a possibility. So here is the opportunity on the side of technology. Because tourism is now consuming more technology than almost any industry. When you talk about virtual activity, it is 90% of tourism now. It's going to have to revert pretty much to a smaller percentage down the road because we're a people industry. We interact, we touch, we feel, you know, we hug, we love. That's what we do. We make people happy. And we're a happiness industry. And that's a little difficult to attain being present and apart or close and apart. It's kind of difficult to exude that warmth and that inward strength of love that is so inherent in what we do when we are separated physically. But we have been sharing so much knowledge, so much information. We've been building content about all of our values virtually and transmitting it across the world. And we're doing it more efficiently and even more effectively in the context of connectivity, in that we are connecting with larger, new markets from all over the world because of what this new technology and its what I call its hyperconnectivity offers. So Jamaica now has an opportunity to become a center for a tourism technological development. Our marketing now, we don't have to worry about a marketing engine from Amadeus or from anywhere. We can do it right here in Jamaica because we have the technology and we have the skills. So a whole big area of representation, which was a big part of the external flows of foreign exchange for tourism, can be done here. Wayne has set up a company that I love because it's dealing with procurement, which is a big part of tourism. that have escaped us. But here is an opportunity that is offering now for us to develop that. And finally, we from the ministry are determined to establish a tourism supplies logistics hub so that we in here can supply what the requirements are in the wider Caribbean market, in the wider Americas. We want to train and build capacity for our workers to be mobile in their jobs, to provide mobility for promotion, while also portability to transfer the skill from one part of the world to the other. And we're excited about multi-destination tourism as another key element of enabling the building of capacity in the area so that the supplies from the manufacturers can expand in relation to that. That your market now, Richard, is not just Jamaica, but because of multi-destination arrangements, you can supply to Mexico, you can supply to Panama, you can supply to Dom Rep, you can supply to Cuba. All 5 of us have agreed to have this multi-destination arrangement. It's going to be an ambitious process of rationalizing a number of things and harmonizing a whole lot of protocols, including looking at fiscal and other arrangements, but more so border considerations and visa considerations. I made that outline for you today because I think you need to appreciate the type of recovery that we're talking about. We're not talking about a recovery about resetting. We're not resetting the industry. We are reimagining the industry. Because reset presupposes a return to what it was. Absolutely not. It will not return to what it was. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new order. And we have to redevelop, retrain, reposition, and reconfigure. In closing, I want to indicate that the small and medium enterprises represent 80% of tourism worldwide. The sorry part of that equation, Ms. Vieira, is that only 20% of the returns from tourism go to that 80%. So that asymmetry we have to rebalance. And your minister is determined in this round as we recover to rebalance that. So with the World Bank arrangement with Ready2, there's $6 billion Jamaican available for small enterprises to build out capacity in agriculture and manufacturing and so on for tourism. I finished discussion with the Saudis. They have $100 million that they have applied to the World Bank on a separate program for small enterprises and community tourism development. And Jamaica is inserted in that. The Exim Bank has over $1 billion that we have put in on a revolving loan program, again for that purpose. And Jamaica National has $200 million for that purpose also. So we are saying that for funding, we are working to enable capacity. Next week, I have a meeting with the bankers of Jamaica, all the bankers, as we talk about the recovery and the reimagining, higher level of investment in the tourism product, but more so to focus heavy on the supply side, because that's where the dollar stays in Jamaica. So congratulations to all the suppliers who are here today and those who are represented virtually. We are excited about the prospects of more of you coming into the value chain, as it means so much to us. The demand study has got to be redone, PS, and we have to look at now the new demand as per the COVID-19 dictates. What we had before was good for pre-COVID, but not going to be adequate for with and post-COVID. So we have to do over that demand study. And as much as it indicated where we were, $350 billion the demand for manufactured goods, 39.6 billion demand for agricultural goods, not including meats and so on, just fresh fruits and supplies. What we're talking about is an overall demand of well over $500 billion, Jamaica, that we can tap into and fill on the local level. So, happy hunting as we move into this new phase of our own development and expansion and growth in tourism. And finally, do not take your guards down. COVID is still here. It's a problem. It will remain so for a while, but we must not be overcome by the problem. We must manage, and we must take personal responsibility for that management. It's my pleasure to declare the 7th Christmas in July opened. God bless you.
Thank you, Minister Bartlett. Not much more you can add to that. As Minister Bartlett said, I'm going to have to use a word. I mean, there's no pre-COVID or post-COVID. We're just going to have to learn to live with COVID and recover with it. And one thing I want to admire about the minister and his team is that while he's seen to be a cheerleader and very positive, he has a team behind him that's very data-driven, a lot of analytics. And that's one thing we implore to our participants. The only thing we require of you is to give us the data. For our visitors or diplomatic corridor, I think in Jamaica we understate everything. So you ask somebody, how are you doing today? Not bad. They won't say they're good. Not bad. And I mean, you ask people for the data, and they understate the data, which is actually not a good thing because it doesn't allow us to look at our return on investment and actually expand it. So one of the requirement for participants to come back is that they provide the data. And that we keep encouraging our viewers online, etc. Make sure you give us the data. Jamaica is data deficient, and it affects our development. Now, I have to give a plug to my tourism linkages network. I mean, our primary objective is to increase the consumption of goods and services that can be competitively sourced. That's what we do. And we are a division of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF. Now, the executive director for TEF is actually Dr. Carrie Wallace, but you know the saying, on top of every good man is a better woman. And the person behind him is actually, on top of him is actually Carolyn McDonald, right? Riley? She is the energy, she and her team behind everything that happens. So today we've kind of told Dr. Wallace I would like for him to step aside and let the real person who did the work to come up and give the vote of thanks. Carolyn?
Good morning, everyone. That's my chairman for the manufacturing group, Mr. Richard Pandoe. He did tell me he was still going to call Dr. Wallace here, so I did prepare for him to say, Mr. Chairman, as a manufacturer, you must be wondering what process was used to convert a man into a woman, and in such short time. But let me hasten to assure you that this woman has never been otherwise than Carolyn McDonald Riley. You would have recognized by now I'm not Dr. Wallace. But we do have a link, and it's a very important one in our jobs, so I am deputizing for him. The success of this event here today must be attributed to the hard work put in by everyone linked to the partnership of staging Christmas in July. I do not use the word success lightly, especially that the outcome will be measured only at the end of the day, but for the organizing team to have succeeded in overcoming the various obstacles and indeed the multiplicity of challenges that presented themselves, we say that success has in fact been achieved. But of course, you will pardon a little corporate indulgence, the Tourism Enhancement Fund's record of being successful at whatever it does or whatever we take on must be inscribed on our tablets of stone. Okay, the Stone Age has passed, so we'll accept the tablet, which can send the message to every corner of the globe. And our partners can attest to that. That's why they have not hesitated in coming on board with us for another year. I have no doubt that they will be on board with us next year as well. Let me therefore start by expressing our deep appreciation to someone whose profile looms larger than life in global tourism circles. Jamaica can be proud of our tourism minister, Honorable Edmund Bartlett, and we are honored to have had him delivering the opening address and performing the official opening of Christmas in July. His grasp of tourism, combined with his marketing skills, manifested themselves prior to COVID, and since the pandemic struck, so much that his leadership is being sought of, not just locally, not just by our other Caribbean partners, but also by the largest continents. Tourism, of course, does not exist in a vacuum. And not only is he in Jamaica, but the role of our Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association cannot be overstated. The JHTA has established itself as a critical partner, and as our able Vice President, who deputized for Mr. Clifton Reeder, has said, he gave us a charge in terms of other things we can do to stimulate the economy. Thank you, Ms. Val Rivera, the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. You played an important role working with us side by side. But while you were side by side today, this is what you do every day. And our country owes you a debt of gratitude to continuously developing our manufacturers and artisans. As you know, the Ministry of Tourism has a number of critical agencies which have an autonomous responsibility in executing their respective functions, but with a duty to ensure that they function harmoniously as one of the cohesive ministry. The person tasked with ensuring that that happens is that of our permanent secretary. And I know that Minister Bartlett endorses the sentiment that our PS, Ms. Jennifer Griffith, must have been ordained with this responsibility, and that is why she continues to pray for us year after year. I have deliberately delayed the thanking of Mr. Pandoe, who finds time amidst his very arduous task to chair the Manufacturing Technical Working Group of the Tourism Linkages Network. I guess it just proves the truth to say, get something done, give it to a busy person. Your mission, and really that of the networking linkages, is essential in cementing the viable bonds between the tourism and the subsectors that our Jamaica manufacturers and producers. As you have said it, and we have heard it over and over again, Jamaica is a tourism destination. It is a saleable product, and our aim is to ensure that the product gets into the tourism industry in all forms. And the Manufacturer Technical Working Group strive to achieve just that. On that note, thanks to the 250 applicants who responded to our open call, but especially to the 150 persons who were selected to display at the trade show. This vote of thanks would not have been completed without a word of appreciation to our hybrid audience, the exhibitors who have laid it out for you, a taste of some of the best that Jamaica has to offer locally produced gifts and souvenirs. I end on the note which I started. Your support will ensure the success of Christmas in July 2021. The Jamaica Pegasus team, as always, you have been most gracious with their hospitality while ensuring that we observe the COVID-19 protocols. This, of course, takes human and financial resources, and thanks to the TEF board led by the Honorable Godfrey Dyer, who has a noble reputation of keeping the purse strings tight, and our ED, Dr. Kerry Wallace. I could not end without bigging up the awesome team of the Tourism Linkages Network. My team, giving your best as usual, with the Linkages Council always being able and willing to offer sound advice. Tishika, Simone, Yannick, Sashana, Antonia, Nicolette, and Trevor, you are truly an A-team. Thank you for the roles you have executed to the true spirit of Christmas, willingly and joyously. To anyone I might have missed, I thank you for your contribution in whatever form, and I truly appreciate your input. Thanks to all of you for gracing us with your presence, but you will even make us happier by gracing our participants this year with orders. Thank you very much. It has been my pleasure to be here.
I mean, Caroline has been most kind. I should thank everybody. She thanked me and the team. The truth is that in the meeting, she said to you, you're not doing enough. You need to do a lot more. And she actually got that minuted in the last meeting. So, I don't know what she does. So But anyway, we've come to the end of our program, and I want to just say something. Minister Bartlett spoke about tourism. They cut me off already. Hello? Yo. Oh, God. Hello? I'm not coming off until I put my back on. Me off, Yeah, Minister Bartlett was talking about the industry being a happiness industry. Caroline spoke about, what we do. And many times we think we're selling a product, but we're not selling a product. We're selling an experience. Jamaica is about selling an experience. And today, what the pandemic has created an opportunity for people want experience. As the world recovers, they're saying, during the pandemic, people started buying a lot of durable goods, exercise machine and TV and whatever. As we recover, people have such pent-up demand for experience that's the industry that's going to recover the fastest and grow. So, no surprise there. And today we want our participants to give and showcase experiences of Jamaica, what we have to offer. And we do hope, as Caroline said, that people put their money and give the real support. Since inception, over 100 million Jamaican dollars has been spent on procuring goods from Christmas in July, participants. So I want to continue to encourage you to tap into your resilience. The future is uncertain, but your resolve must not be. The word that the minister used that I wanted to use was reimagine. Continue to innovate and continue to challenge yourself and to get beyond thinking locally, to see yourself as a global participant, just as Valerie said. Salute the work of the Christmas in July team, the partners and all the stakeholders who have made this staging possible. I encourage us all to continue to stand behind our locally made products and services as a win for Brand Jamaica, is a win for the Caribbean, is a win for all of us. To the online viewers, thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you at 2 o'clock today at the Pegasus Hotel, where we'll officially kickstart the live show with our hosts, Empress Golin and Dufton Shepherd. Come on down, observe all the protocols, spend some money, and have a wonderful day and shop because it's Christmas. Bless up.